Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today's session. Today, we are very excited to have a new version of TalentLMS, TalentLMS 4.9, and we have a lot of things to show you. But just to give you an idea of what this release is about, generally, our goal in Talent LMS is to help you provide successful training. And the key metrics for that is adoption, engagement. So this time we have added features and improvements to help the admins and the instructors, of course, to provide the right training and boost the adoption and engagement of the users. So let's go. And my name is Theo. We might have met before, and I'm part of the customer education team, where our goal is to help you get an overview of Talent LMS and today about what's new in Talent LMS. As always, I'm not alone. I have great company with me.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary. I'm the Customer Education Manager, and I'm here today to help Theo with his presentation and you to deliver successful training.
Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth. I'm also a member of the customer education team, and I'm here to help answer your questions and provide you with some useful tips. So feel free to use the Q&A button below on your screen, and we can answer live some questions. Also, don't forget that the session is recorded, so you will all get a copy once it's over.
So you've met the team, and let's see now what we have in store for you today. Today, we will be able to see how you can get new and improved reports. Again, it's all about engagement, adoption, and we can see more ways to create and share courses. This is mostly the improvements that we have brought and the new features from the instructors. And blended learning is always the best way to teach. So we will see a new integration for instructor-led training. And again, don't forget, it's going to be Q&A time at the end. So let us know below your questions and we will get to answer them live. Without further ado, let's jump into the platform. And for that, I'm just going to go into the account that we will be working today. And this should be a quite familiar view for you by now. This is all the admin panel. And as administrators, one of the most important decisions that you will ever have to take, especially at the beginning when you have to set up the account, is how users will be able to join, take training, and reach your account. So let's go under the account settings. Let's click on users and see what's new there. There are two different ways that people can access your account. They can sign up manually, so you, admins, will have to do the work and you can add them individually, or you can use it through an integration, or you can use it using the import function. But you can also give the option for the users to sign up directly. So they create their own account, they create their own profile, and they get access to the training. So you might have seen that before, but what's new here? We have new verification methods for the users. So that way you know that not only you have the correct user approaching your account, but also you have the correct user logging in, creating an account, and just being able to know that this is exactly the person that you're aiming to provide the training for. So we have a couple of options now. And before, we had the option to use CAPTCHA. You know, these letters, numbers with a blurry background that sometimes would take a couple of takes to make it right. Well, that is a really good verification method that was already here before, email verification and admin activation, but now we combine them. So now you have the option to provide the CAPTCHA picture, the one that people have to put the letters and numbers and verify them. And then, of course, you can use still the email verification, so users activate their own accounts without you being involved in any way. Or that is also my favorite method because you get to do the work with the users alone. So the users will still have to complete the CAPTCHA, so they need to finally correct letters and numbers, but also as an admin, you will get an email once the user has created their profile, and you can choose then if that is indeed the right person in the right place, the right time, and allow them access to the account. So just more ways to ensure that your account is safe and only the right people will be accessing the training. And still being an admin, I'm gonna go back to the homepage and pass the mic to Mary to show us what's new in reports.
Yes, let's move to reports, guys. You know that we offer many different types of reports so you can access your user data, course completions. But with this change since last week, actually, we have made some improvements in SCORM reports. If you don't know what is a SCORM file, well, it's an interactive type of file that you can build on an external authoring tool. TalentLMS is compatible with SCORM 1.2 version. So some of you, maybe you were already using that. You were uploading your files in TalentLMS, and then in the dedicated area, SCORM reports, you were able to track the results. Now, what we have changed, let's go in there and I will show you. Let's sort a little bit. Let's find some answers. So I can open a report where we have some data right there. Let's open this one and let's move to the analysis tab. What we have added in this release is the option to be able to edit the questions or the answers that you get from your reports. You just need to click on the toggle there so you have enabled the edit mode. For example, right now I cannot really understand what is the question about because the data that we get here are not very clear. If you want, you can change that. We can edit, add our own question now, and save that. So it's much more easier to read your information. Now, this is also available for instructors because instructors can enter in their courses and go to reports. They can also edit questions and answers. It's much easier to read the data now, and you won't have to change the entire file, your SCORM file on your authoring tool.
And talking about reports, SCORM is definitely one of the most popular ways to provide interactive content, but also we have another type of report that can help you a lot with identifying how users are doing into the courses and how you can track the engagements and the adoption of the courses and specifically the units that you have added into the course. So let's go back to reports. And at this point, let me just, before I show you what's new here, let me just remind you, couple of weeks ago, we introduced the training matrix. If you remember, that is a new style report. That is a hybrid report where you could see at any point where your users are in the training. Do they have a course? Have they studied a course? Have they failed? Are they in progress of training? So after popular demands, we heard your request and we implemented that for the particular course reports. So let's go into the course reports and again, find something that is quite popular. I'm going to check this one, go to the specific report. And at this point, you might be wondering what's new here. Hang on a second. If you wanted to check the unit progress of the users, you would normally go to the users and there you can see the overall progress of the course. But also, if I want to see where this person is at this point, you could click and then you could see all of the units that they have completed. You could hover over the information there and see the time they spent, the dates, and all of the stats that you could get. But of course, the training matrix is very popular. So we implemented that for the unit matrix this time. So let's click on unit matrix. And here you can see all of the users that belong into the course to the left, all of the units that are contained into the course on the top. And you can always just hover and see more information about the ones that have been completed. You can hover on the test and see again more information. For example, if I go on to this one and click, you can see the result, the score, the time spent, the date. And of course, if something is white, it means that the users have not attempted that part of the course yet. If it is orange, that means that this is in progress. So you can keep your eyes here and just see how the users will be progressing the next time you visit the report. And we don't have to say that, right? The red means that this person didn't have a good day that day. But in any case, you can always just go to the options and there you can choose whether you will see the unit score or maybe not. So just see the tick. And again, in the filter option, you will be able to see that report for courses that belong to branches or groups. And going away from that, let's go back to the home page and let's talk about something different. Let's talk about blended learning.
Actually, are you using live sessions? If not, you should. We have great results. And the next feature is for a new integration that we have added in our system. And I'm going to show you this right away. Let's go in account settings. So far, we had the option to use Zoom meetings if you want, Microsoft Teams, GoToMeeting, GoToTraining, GoToWebinar, big blue button. And now the new feature here is the Zoom webinar tool. So if you were using as a company Zoom webinar and you would like to integrate it with TalentLMS, now you have the option. Just select it from the list, save your settings, and then you need to connect your account. So we have to switch to instructor, Everything is documented. We also have it in an article if you want to have a look. Let's go to conferences, and then you will have the option to connect your own Zoom account with the profile you have in TalentLMS. And you know, Zoom webinars, actually, we are in this environment right now. This will help you host larger groups of people in a single event. You can also set up rooms. You have better control over the participant interaction and interruptions. And you also get reports via Zoom. You can download who attended, and you can get this as a CSV file. And I know all of that because I'm using Zoom webinars, and you are in a Zoom webinar right now. So if you want, you can connect Zoom webinars with TalentLMS and then schedule the sessions through Talent. So that's the good thing with integrating your own tool. And we can try this together. We can add a conference. A conference, it's a live session. It's not part of any training, so it's more like an optional training. And if people want, they can join. We can set the date here and the starting time. If you want, you can set a password, you can add a description and set a duration. So you create the conference here in TalentLMS. You don't have to go to Zoom webinars to create the session, copy the URL, and then share it with your users directly from TalentLMS. And now we're looking at the users list. You can start inviting people. So we need to add them first. And then if you want to notify them, you can send them a message right away from the platform. So this is a conference, but you also have the option to create live sessions as part of the training. This is part of the course though. So in another webinar, we have talked how you can create blended learning and how you can create instructor-led training units. It's part of the course. It's one of the options when you add a new unit.
And Mary, that is a new addition that everybody was waiting for because we got a lot of requests about being able to integrate with Zoom webinars. But it's very convenient now that you bring the conversation into the courses because we have improvements here. And I'm pretty sure that this will help a lot of people that have to deliver different types of training. Let's jump into a course. And in fact, let's go to edit the course and go into the settings of the course so that way we can see what's new here. I'm going to scroll a little bit further down and just have a look at the time options. So here it goes. Now you have the option to use the start date. I know that many people had asked for that as well. And by now you have heard me repeating that a lot, but usually the features that we introduce, most of the times come from suggestions that you have. So in the Q&A button, if you have any suggestions, let us know, and we will share our direct contact email later on so you can provide us with more suggestions there. And again, this is the result of your own brainstorming with us as well. So the start date is a very convenient way if you want to make sure that the learners will gain the course at the exact same point, or at least they will have the opportunity to start the course at the same place. So the start date, for example, will help people make sure that they get the training that they need when they need, and you as instructors to create the course beforehand and still make it available to them at that point. I'm going to explain what I mean because I know that this is something quite new. Let's say here, for example, that we want to provide compliance training. We have an ISO audit, and that audit will take place sometime early next year. We want to make sure that in January, people will have the ability to take the training that they need. So the start date of the course at this point should be set to, let's say, January 1st. And of course, you can just mark the time. I'm going to make it at 10 o'clock because everybody usually starts work at this time. And the start date means that the content can be created at any given point, even today. The users can enroll again at any given point, even today, but they will be able to start the course, click the play button and see the content only after January 1st at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the same thing is something that you can combine with other features, for example, the expiration date. So here you can always just set another expiration date, for example, let's say the 31st of January. And again, I'm going to give them the entire day. So let's say midnight. And that means that the users will be able to have access to the course only the entire month. Now, the other part is the time limits. And the users can have a time limit as well, which is the number of days that they will have access to the course from the day of enrollment. So if I say here, for example, 10 days, That means that the learners will be able to have access to the course only for 10 consecutive days from the day of enrollment. I know that this is a combination that can definitely be used in many different scenarios, so we have prepared some for you. Let me go into the slides again and let's do some math. I'm terrible with months, honestly, so I have just created a calendar here, and with Mary's help, we will be able to give you a couple of examples. So bear with me. Let's say that we have a scenario, and the start date will be the 3rd of January 2022. Of course, the first is Sunday, so there's no point. The expiration dates will be the 31st, and the time limit is 10 days. So these are the conditions of the course that we will create. First example, what happens if you have a start date and an expiration date? And this is really useful, like the example we said before, when you have ISO training, when you have auditing training, when you want people to have access to a course for a very specific amount of time based on what they need to do and what should follow later. So in this case, let's say the course, you can see that's being in white. The course will start on the 3rd of January, Monday, and it will end on the 31st. So that means that the users can see the content of the course from the 3rd to the 31st. So quite a lot of time, to be honest. The second scenario, enrollment dates and time limits. So now we pay attention to the orange. So the enrollment dates and the time limit can be very useful if you have new hires. And you can use that for onboarding, for policies and procedures, for anything that new hires should complete at the very first few days of hired and enrollment. So this is where you can actually don't bother too much about the start dates because you don't know when the people will get hired. So they should be able to jump into the course anytime, but you should be aware of how many days they need to complete the training. So that way, you know that they skip that part and then they go to the next and the next and the next. So in this case, the enrollment date is the 15th and the time limit of 10 days will be the 25th. So that person will have exactly 10 days from the day of enrollment to complete the course. And I think that was enough math for me today. Mary, can you tell me number 3, please?
Yes, of course. And I'm always dreaming of Christmas. I don't know why with this example. Let's say that in 2022, you're planning to launch a new course, but it's good to prepare the course now, okay? So in Christmas, probably before Christmas, actually, you will start preparing the content. The course should be active so the learners will be able to get that, but you don't want them to get this before the 3rd of January. So let's look at the green colors now, okay? So you set the start date to be the 3rd of January, and then you pick for how long they can access the course, but then the course will expire. So we're combining the starting day, which I decided to be the 3rd of January, with a time limit of 10 days. So the course will expire the 13th. So prepare your content, don't worry. Choose when the course will become available to your learners and for how long they will be able to access the content. After that, the course expires. So we do all of that to be able to make them respect the deadlines and yes, to have better results.
And as you can see, there are lots of different ways that you can use the start date, expiration, and the time limit. I know that this is something that you will definitely need to try as well and implement based on the type of training. But we have something different this time to show you. And trust me, it's going to be a little bit more creative. Let's go into the course contents and let's actually talk about the video units, because one of the most popular ways to provide content is by video. And we are so used at watching videos these days. So you can always add a video and upload your own contents from your device in TalentLMS, like we have here. And if you go to edits, you might have wondered, how does the choosing process go for where the video will just freeze and show when you actually start the video? So for example, you might want to have a thumbnail, and usually you can get the speaker in a very awkward position, like Mary now, for example, or you can just have a random slide from somebody's presentation. So why not having your own option, like a thumbnail? Well, in the options of the video, provided you have uploaded your own, in the options, you have the option to select a poster image. So tick that box and you can always upload your own, or if you have an image in your files that you can use, just select this poster image or any other image that you might have in the files of the course and save. You might not see that right now, but if you save, you will be able to see that the video will start with the exact poster image, the thumbnail of your choice. And of course, it will not stay there for long. It will just play and the video will start as it was before. Many people have requested that because they can use it for just having perhaps a consistent look for all the videos, to have branded thumbnails, and of course to just maybe use them to show a few key points or just even photo of the presenters before they actually start providing the content. And let's go back, Mary. We have improvements in tests, don't we?
Yes, and I guess you are using TalentLMS for quite a while, so you already know this. TalentLMS lets you define how a specific question affects the overall grading of a test by assigning a different weight to each question. So each question constitutes a percentage of the test, and by adjusting its weight, you can see immediately how that percentage is altered. So let me show you this. Let's go in one of our tests. And you can see I have added 3 questions, but I want to move now to the question weight. This is not a new feature, but we have added this column that shows how the percentage is changing when you modify the weight of the question. And let me give you an example if you don't know how to use this feature. Let's say your goal is to get 50% to pass this test. From what you see right now on the screen, all the questions give equal points. So if you answer at least 2 questions right, you will be able to pass the test. But what if we change the weight of the question? Let's change the first question and add the weight 2. Look at the screen now. If you answer this specific question correctly, you will get 50%, as this question alone affects the 50% of the overall grade, and then you can pass the test. It was always there. What we have changed now is the column with the percentage, so it's much easier again to understand how the question affects the overall grading.
And as you saw, we have a lot of improvements and some new features today for you. Many of them have to do with numbers this time, but again, we cannot always predict is that going to be something that will be focused only in one area or not. But in any case, we are here to help, and we're here to provide you with basically features that will help you deliver training and successful training that your users will adopt. It's a long time now that the Q&A button has been buzzing, so I'm going to pass the mic to Elizabeth and Mary and just mute myself for now.
Hi again, everyone. I see a lot of questions indeed in the Q&A section, and thank you so much for all your questions. So I have marked some to answer live with you, with the help of Mary, of course. She's our expert here. So first, I see a question from Brittany. Let's see. Is there a way to add instructor feedback to a test for good record keeping, similar to an instructor writing on a paper test feedback? Well, Brittany, there are 2 ways to do that. Actually, you can add feedback to a question, or you can add a message to your test. So let's see how we can do that. Let's access a test in a course, and let's go and edit one specific question from that test first. So we can add feedback to that question. So here, by editing the question, you will see the feedback section. Here you can type your message to your user. Perfect, nice feedback. Save, and now when the user replies to that question, they will see that message. Also, what you could do, let's preview that, perfect. Thank you, Theo. Great. And another option we have, if you want to add feedback to the whole test, not just a question, you could go into test options, and there, if we scroll down a bit, under that security, perfect. You will see message if passed and message if not passed. So you could leave a more generic message to your users this way. I hope this helps, Brittany. Let's see the next question. So Canis asks, the user type login, can it be different for every branch? Yes, indeed it can. So if we switch to our admin role, we will see how in accountant settings, of course, as we showed before, you could set the login login method for the global site, for your main portal. But every branch can also have its own settings. So if we go to branches and access one to edit it, we will see that option in the info tab. If we scroll a little bit down, it should be there. This is the default user type. We can change that. And in the sign up option under that, we can change either for the user to be add it manually or to be able to self-register also on the portal. And let's see another question from Zainatul. So Zainatul asks, can we schedule the training matrix or unit matrix report and define who can receive them? Is this possible? If not available, any plans to include? Well, Zainatul, I think you're in our minds. You know how the training matrix report was created. It was from your feedback, and we love to listen to you and to your suggestions. So actually, yet it's not possible to schedule the training matrix report or the unit matrix report, but this is an idea that we will forward to the team, and soon, hopefully, it will be implemented as well. And let's see, another question here. We have a lot. Thanks so much. Yes, from Vernetta. Vernetta asks, is there any plan to add an option for Microsoft Teams? Yes, Vernetta, you're talking about instructor-led training units, so for blended learning. And actually, this is something we do offer. So you need to access your portal as an administrator, go to account and settings, and scroll a little bit down again to see the conferences type. So you can indeed integrate with Microsoft Teams here. This was implemented a while ago, actually. And I see a question also from Charlie next, and I think this is one for our expert, Mary. So let's see, Charlie asks, hi, when using Zoom conferences, do you need to schedule the webinar series through TalentLMS, or can I use my already scheduled webinars and plug those in? Mary, what do you think?
Yes, so the purpose of integrating Zoom conferences, actually, Zoom meetings or Zoom webinars in TalentLMS is so you can save time and schedule the sessions through TalentLMS. Of course, you can schedule new sessions directly from your tool, but existing sessions that are already created on Zoom cannot be plugged in, as you said, in TalentLMS. So you have to schedule the session either direct in TalentLMS or go to your tool, create the session, copy the URL, and then paste it in TalentLMS. Put it somewhere in your course, put it in a content unit. But yes, we cannot transfer your existing sessions that you have already scheduled from Zoom in TalentLMS.
Perfect. Thank you, Mary. We have another question I see here from Canis too. How do you structure your homepage into those sections? It looks way neater. Thank you, Canis. So actually, yes, you can do this by going to the homepage from Account and Settings, and you will see how we have our homepage divided indeed into different sections. We can add featured courses or text and media, only text, only a banner. And how to do that, you go at the bottom of the page and select which section you want to add each time. So this way you create it from scratch, you import your content and you add that section into your homepage. It's really easy and really you don't need any coding for that. So you can start building it right away if you wish. Let's see another question. Perfect. I think this is also for Mary, our expert again. Mary, I will read the question to you. It's from Elizabeth. And Elizabeth says, hi, can you add notifications to instructors which list users which have not completed the course when it expires? Or add a symbol on the training matrix which indicates the course is expired and not completed?
Actually, Elizabeth, that's nice feedback. So adding an extra symbol where we can see courses that are not completed but they're expired. Right now, we don't have this feature. You are correct. But let's try to find something from the existing features that we have. Actually, in which plan are you? If you are on a Plus or a Premium plan, you will have the option to access custom reports as well. So I was thinking to create a new report. Let's go to custom reports and add a new one and select users. And let's try to find users that have a course expired. So let's type expiration or something like this. I think we will find it. Here we are. A course has expired, this one. So you can choose your course. So you want to look for a specific course, I guess, and we will see who has this course that has expired. And then perhaps in the columns, if you want to, we can add the status. We can see if this course is completed or not. So we can take it either this way and get a report about this. And when the report is generated, I'm not sure if I will have some data, but let's save that and let's see. Yeah, I don't have some data. This course was not expired for any of my users, but let's pretend we have some data here, okay? We will open this report. You will have the option to schedule that. So if you want, you can send a weekly report to your instructors, and this way they will know which of their users have a course that is expired and what is their status on that course, if they're still in progress or if the course is completed. Of course, if you have more questions, if you have slightly different case from what I'm describing, please send us a message. We will share our email and we will look according to what you want to achieve with you directly.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Mary. And let's see our next question here. It's from Sam. And Sam asks, do you have to have an expiry date if you've set a start date on a course? No, Sam, this is not necessary. If you only wish to have a start date on your course, this is possible. You don't necessarily need to have an expiry date too. Only if you want to add this for your users to complete the course in a specific time frame. Otherwise, not mandatory. Let's see if we have another question here. I have to scroll down a bit. Yes, Charlie asks, will a recording of this webinar be sent over to us? I missed the beginning, sorry. Yes, actually, Charlie, we will send over the recording to all of you, so don't worry at all, you'll be able to review it later yourself. So yes, you should check your inbox, it will be there. Perfect. Let's see another question. Again from Sam. And maybe I think this one is for Mary too. Can you edit the percentage or just the weighting number?
So Sam, this is a question about our questions, right? Just the weight. So by changing the weight, you actually affect the percentage. You cannot change the percentage. So it's not the other way around. So just the weight, yes.
Perfect. We have another question from Olgita. Hi, hello. Do you have discussion boards for classes? Actually, yes, we do have this feature. It's called discussions, and it works exactly like that, Olgita, for as a forum for your users. So you need to go as an instructor into your portal, and on the right-hand panel, access discussions. This way, you can create new topics. You see here we have already some. So by creating a new topic, you could make it also available for a specific group or for a specific course if needed. So you make it a little bit restricted to some users. You could ask them for feedback or ask them to type any questions they have for you. It's really a nice way to promote social learning, if you may. So your users can reply here to comments or create their own topics too. I hope this helps you. And let's see more questions here. I see another question from Mary. Yes, it's from Ashikin, and the question is there any plan to have notification on the start date in notifications or include the smart tag in the event upon course assignment?
That's a good question. And actually, I've seen this from a lot of people. At the moment, you're right, there is not a notification that will be triggered to notify the learner when the course starts, which is part of our new feature. But we do have plans. If you want to be notified when this will be implemented, I cannot promise, but our goal is to have this in our next release or a little bit earlier. But if you want to get feedback, just let us know, send us a message, and we will add you to the list so we can notify you personally, actually. So we do have plans.
Perfect. Let's see another question. Yes, one question from Doris. When you clone a course, can you go in and change the start date and time limit? So yes, actually, let's remind what cloning is. Actually, with cloning, by clicking that third icon there that Theo shows, we can create exactly the same course as the original, but it is totally independent. So you can perform changes there, update the content, and it will not affect the original course. So actually here, yes, of course, you could change the start date or the time limit for that cloned course without it affecting the original at all. Let's see. We have another question about videos this time. So Mary, will you help with that? It's
Yes.
by an anonymous user. And they ask, with regards to videos, is it possible to create a thumbnail from the video?
No, no, we have the option, we have added right now this option to upload your own image. You cannot use a point from the video and make it the thumbnail. So you have to upload your image.
Perfect. Thank you, Mary. Let's see some more options, some more questions here. Do you have to have a paid Zoom account to create a conference? This is by Dan. Actually, Dan, no, it is not necessary to have a paid Zoom account. As we said before with conferences, you can set up your own tool. Let's go into account and settings and remember that. So if you scroll a bit down, you will see the conferences option. And here you can select perhaps the integrated video conference tool. It is the built-in solution that we offer. It's actually the free version of Big Blue Button. In this way, you can have your conferences, your instructor-led training sessions in your courses with this tool. You don't need to have your own version of a tool. I hope this is helpful. And let's see some more questions here. And Click Meeting, any plans to integrate it? This is a question from Gart. Actually, we do not have this in the roadmap, if I'm not mistaken, but I will make a note, Gart, to ask our tech team and see if this is something that we have plans about. So let me just note it and I will check with the team. Thank you. And let's see some more questions here. I see there are a lot of them, so thank you so much and lots of feedback too. Let's see. Another question from Angela. Perfect. Angela says, is it possible to have course start and expiration dates for specific users? Mary, I think this is for you. You're the instructor expert too, so.
Actually, no, we can. This setting is on the course. So if you add a starting date or expiration date, this will affect the course and all the users that are added to that course. So we cannot make it specific for users. Of course, an idea is to perhaps clone the course as Elisabeth described before. So you can have the same course just twice and assigned to specific people. So for the original course, just 5 people with their own starting and expiration date. For the clone course, which has exactly the same settings, but now we have just changed the starting date, we will share it with different people. So this is an idea if you want to have a different starting and expiration date for specific users. Just clone the course.
Great, thank you, Mary. I think we have a follow-up question for you, Mary, too. It's from Melanie, and she asks, Mary, what you were saying about scheduling Zoom trainings through TalentLMS? Does that hold true for teams as well? They need to be scheduled through TalentLMS?
Yes, actually, Melanie, for any tool that you might be using and we can integrate with, the purpose of integrating in TalentLMS with TalentLMS is so you can schedule it directly from Talent. This will save you time, but it's up to you if you want to go to Microsoft Teams and create the session and copy the URL. You don't have to, it takes a lot of time. Try just to schedule this directly from TalentLMS. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's see. I had another question here. Perfect. It's from Benjamin. And Benjamin says, to my understanding, I do believe that mentioned updates will not affect anything that we already have in the system. Is that correct? Benjamin, I think you're referring to the updates that we made in this release, right? So you're correct. Nothing will affect your existing training. Only if you wish to use a new feature to your existing training or to your new courses, of course, feel free to do that. But you're right, nothing will change in your trainings if you don't wish that in your portal, of course. But we hope that you will use the new features. Let's see another question. Again, about conferences. This is very popular today. And this is also for Mary, and it's from Nikki. So Nikki says, regarding the conference settings, we use multiple different conferencing platforms. Is it possible that both Microsoft Teams and Zoom can be used for scheduling ILTs? Would we need to adjust this in the account settings each time?
You're right, Nikki. You can only use one tool because when you go in account settings, you can only pick one tool and then save it. There is a workaround. There is this option where you can just leave Zoom here, for example, create all the sessions through TalentLMS, and this will be automatically created on your Zoom account. And for the rest, for when you would like to use Microsoft Teams, for example, just go to your course, add an instructor-led training unit, and then when you pick the day and the time here, just paste the URL of Microsoft Teams here in the description. So what we have done so far, you have the option to schedule live sessions from TalentLMS, and they will appear directly on your Zoom account. But if you want to use Microsoft Teams at the same time, you will need to go to your tool, copy the URL, and then paste it in here. We actually have done a webinar on blended learning. Whoever would like to learn more about how to handle live sessions, multiple tools, just let us know. You can send us a message and we can share this recording with you. We have many tips there, and I believe this will help you.
Thank you, Mary. Let's see another question from Chantel here. Chantel asks, is there a way for courses to automatically be hidden when they have reached maximum capacity? Actually, yes, Chantel, this is exactly how the capacity feature works. Let's access a course as an instructor and see where we can find that feature. So we need to access the basic settings of the course by clicking Edit Course, and there you will find the capacity option. So just by clicking on it, you can add how many people can actually self-enroll into this course, find it in the catalog and acquire it. If we say maybe 20 users, this means that once this number is reached, automatically the course will then be hidden from the catalog. So the system is smart in this sense. It knows that when the number is reached, no more people can find it anymore. Of course, on the back end, you can add people here if you wish, as an admin or as an instructor. There is no limit to that, but it will no longer be available on the course catalog. I hope this is what you're looking for.
And I really hope that this is what you're looking for because we are almost out of time. Thank you so
Oh,
much, everybody, for providing that amazing questions. And specifically in release webinars, we are trying to leave more time for questions rather than in our regular sessions, because I know that these are new things that you would like to ask, but of course you might want to resurface question about features that you very well know, or questions about, features that you would like to have. So we have gathered, I think, so much feedback from you today that our team and our product team especially will be very happy and deep into work. And of course, for that, I would like to share with you our direct email address. I popped it into the chat before, but of course, you can reach out to us at trainingteam@talentlms.com. And feel free to let us know more questions. Let us know questions about your specific accounts as well, and we will be able to help. And of course, don't forget, like the release, we also work with you as part of our team. So in the chat, you will be able to see a link for our survey, our direct webinar survey. It will just take a few seconds, and this is your actual way and direct way to be part of our team. Let us know what works, let us know what doesn't, so that way we can create webinars exactly as you want them. Thank you so much for joining, and we wish you happy, successful training. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
bye, everyone.